More and more parents these days want a shared custody schedule. But shared custody can be hard. How do you know if a shared custody schedule is right for you and your kids? Hi, I'm Max Ruthenberg-Marshall, attorney and founder of Porchlight. Today we're going to be talking about co-parenting after divorce and whether or not a shared custody schedule is right for you. First of all, let's define shared custody. It actually is kind of a vague term and can be used interchangeably with joint custody, but what most people mean when they refer to it is a 50-50 schedule. Now, it's not always a 50-50 schedule, it might be close to that. So a more precise way of talking about it is just to refer to it as a 50-50 schedule. 50-50 schedules are usually one of two plans. The first is a week on, week off, where the kids alternate weeks with each parent. The other one is a 2-2-5-5, where one parent has every Monday and Tuesday, the other parent has every Wednesday and Thursday, and they alternate Friday through Sunday. When you lay this schedule out on a calendar, it makes the pattern of 2 days, 2 days, 5 days, 5 days. This 50-50 joint custody, shared custody schedule, whatever you choose to call it, is in contrast to the traditional parenting schedule. That's where one parent has primary custody and the other parent has every other weekend. Sometimes that parent might also have an overnight in off weeks or a dinner during the week, but the basis of the schedule is every other weekend. All co-parenting relationships after divorce can be a challenging situation, but a shared custody schedule requires particularly strong co-parenting. So if you're thinking that a shared custody schedule might be best for your kids and your family, we've got some tips to help you navigate that situation successfully. Tip number 1. Get emotional support. So that might be in the form of the therapist, that might be in the form of your religious community, or maybe it's just meeting a friend for coffee regularly so you have some time to vent and process the situation. Whatever it is, you need to line up Team You so you have your people there to support you. Tip number 2 is to try co-parenting counseling. Even if you and your spouse have been the most amazing parents in the world to date, switching to the co-parenting relationship is a lot of a different dynamic. So you're going to have some learning curve trying to figure out how exactly that's going to work. A professional co-parenting counselor can help you and your spouse figure that out, discuss what the pain points might be, and come up with solutions that are customized to your family. Tip number 3, keep the kids out of it. The logistics are more complicated when you're sharing a 50-50 custody schedule because you're each handling half the logistics for the kids as opposed to one parent having the majority of the time. But you want to be sure that you're not passing messages through the kids or discussing adult issues in front of the kids. You want to leave the adult stuff to the adults and let the kids be kids. Tip number 4 is to carefully choose how you communicate with your ex-spouse. So some people really can't have a lifetime conversation. They just get on each other's nerves too much. So in that case, you might want to look at just communicating by text or email, or even a co-parenting platform. So there are a lot of apps out there these days that are designed to help co-parents communicate effectively. And even if you do communicate well and not get each other's nerves, there are a lot of things to manage with co-parenting children together. So these apps have document storage, shared calendars, message boards, things like that, so you guys can productively manage your children's lives together. Tip number 5 is to focus on your kids. This is not about you and your ex-spouse. Even if you hate each other more than anything in the world, you want to put on a good front in front of the kids and not let the kids know that. You can still be polite and civil to each other. You don't have to get along anymore. You don't have to like each other. All you have to do, the entire extent of your relationship, is to co-parent your children together. So that's the point of your relationship, and who did what during the divorce really has no consequence anymore. Tip number 6 is to be consistent between households. That doesn't mean you have to be identical, but you should be relatively on the same page for things. For example, if the children are going to bed at 8 o'clock in one household, but not until 10 o'clock in the other household, that's probably going to cause some disruption in their sleep schedule. So maybe you guys want to agree on a bedtime, or at least get a much narrower window so it's not having as much effect on the kids. You may also want to agree to some ground rules, if you can, about things like screen time, cell phone usage, and other things regarding your children's general day-to-day behavior. If you can't agree, that's okay, but you do want to minimize how extreme the differences between households are. Our final tip is to support time with the other parent for the children. This means both emotionally and logistically. So you want to be encouraging them to have a great time with their other parent. When they come back and tell you what they did, you want to be excited and tell them that's amazing. And you also want to make the logistics feasible. So if your kid has a stuffed animal that they absolutely cannot live without, you want to make sure that that handoff is happening appropriately and the kid is always having the stuffed animal at the correct house for when they go to bed. If you need help designing a custody schedule that works for your family, give Porchlight a call. We're here to help.